Hi students, I'm sending another video specifically about content analysis. Many of you have decided to do content analysis for your method, your research methodology. Content analysis is a way to gather data to answer your research question without the use of live participants. So you will use a type of medium such as books, articles, movies, documentaries, a TV series, a web, you can even use websites, you can use commercials, you can use any printed media, you can use audio, anything that is related to your topic that you'd like to use, you can use. Now, here are some guidelines though. A student just asked me this question in the discussion on the Ask the Instructor, so I'm answering the question. So she asked, are we allowed to use observational videos of young children, essays, TED Talks, or other relevant sources that could offer insight and patterns of our research investigation? So absolutely. The things I just listed, and she actually provided some other examples. Yes, you can. Now, the parameters around that is you have to use, or I want you to use, the same type of media. So if you're going to do TED Talks, then use all TED Talks, all right, about the topic. Or you, maybe not just TED Talks, but, some other type of social media or videos, maybe YouTube videos, for example. So it's got to be the same type of medium. So not necessarily all TED Talks, but all videos, on YouTube or, social media that you can find, because you want them to be as consistent as possible, the same. Or if you want to use documentaries, use all documentaries. If you want to use all TV shows, use all TV shows. If you want to use all research-based articles, use all research-based articles. But a student asked me this question today, well, can I use the articles that I've done my literature review on? No, because that is the literature review are the articles that you have gathered is existing research that you used to review and understand your topic. Your content analysis data needs to be separate or different from your literature review articles, okay? But you can use articles, you can use books. Is there a minimum number of sources? This is the student asked. Is there a minimum number of sources required for collecting data? Now, I did not answer that question specifically, is what I realized. So I told another student earlier, a minimum of 3, okay? But you may use up to 5. We don't want to get too much. I'm using the same guideline as I used if you were doing interviews. If you're sitting down with somebody for a 30-minute interview, I'm using the same criteria, 3 to 5 different resources for your content analysis. And she asked, if you have limitations regarding the type of data sources, would you please detail them? So I already went over that. The different types of sources, like again, movies or, printed material. You can use auditory, like, if let's say you're analyzing music. Wow, you could even do that, right? You have to listen. So you can do that. And yes, that is the answers to that. All right. Now, before you start collecting your data, in your method section, please make sure you're very specific about your participants. So your participants is actually your content that you're using, that you're going to analyze. So your participants could be 4 TED Talks, and these are the TED Talks. Your participants could be the TV show, whatever the TV show is, 4 episodes of this TV show. The participants could be 4 documentaries on this topic from these different editors, or the people who made the actual documentaries. So those are your participants. All right. You can also describe, like if you're looking at the student earlier that I spoke with is doing her research on preschool children who attend nature-based preschools, right? So her participants would be the documentaries, right? Or, I think she's going to do documentaries. I hope she doesn't mind me saying this. Documentaries. And the documentaries, will contain children. So you can even be descriptive on that and say, the documentaries feature children attending this wilderness or forest preschool. I believe that's what it's called. So you can be very specific of who the participants are in this content. Okay. But they're not like people you're interviewing or you're surveying, but who's in the, what are the participants? Who are the participants in this content? So that's how you do that. Materials, you want to be very specific. I already said that in my last video. Be very specific on your materials. Appendices for content analysis, a little different. So instead of Appendix A being your informed consent that you're going to have, to have your real life participant sign, or the implied consent that you use for online surveys, you don't need to have that because you don't have real life people. So Appendix A could actually be your materials. Like I told the student earlier, if you're going to do documentaries, well then go ahead and Appendix A, you list the documentaries in detail, of what they are, the names of them, who published them, who made them. That way, if I wanted to replicate her study, I could actually find those particular content, and pull it up, find it, pull it up, and run the study again. Okay, that's Appendix A for content analysis, is your actual analysis, reference it, which is separate from your reference list from the literature review. Appendix B will be your, because what you have to do for content analysis is you need to set up what your categories are going to be before you view or listen to, your content. Okay. So you could do I suggest an Excel spreadsheet that has your different categories. Okay. So this particular student's categories are going to be related to the school and the children and their social emotional development. So that's what she's looking for. Right? So it could be that, she wants to watch these documentaries to see how these children are responding socially in this setting. How are they responding emotionally in this setting? She might view a child who is really well developed in that area as evidenced by how that child is communicating with other kids in the documentary. And she'll document that under the column of social interaction. So you have to get your categories together based on your research question and have it ready. And when you're viewing or reading your content, you're taking notes and you're coding under the categories what you are viewing. That's your data collection for content analysis. And then what you do, you compare, contrast the 3 to 5 different mediums that you're using, how you coded them, and see what's similar, see what's different. That's your data. Okay, so I hope that helps you understand a little bit more about content analysis, how to write that up. I may have missed something. I hope I didn't. I did provide an additional resource from online that I read and thought it was very user-friendly for students to understand. Know that content analysis for you have to tell me what research design you're using under the method. It can either be qualitative, which is using the use of words, or it could be quantitative. Let's say you're counting the number of times you see something in each of your resources that you are analyzing. Okay, the number of times that the person says yes in the video, you know, the number of times that, you know, we saw that this particular commercial, for example, I don't know, exploited a female. Okay, because that could be a topic. I actually had a student do a topic like this last semester or last year. So you have to decide how you're coding. Are you coding numbers? Or are you coding words? If you're coding numbers, it's a quantitative content analysis. Okay, content analysis is unobtrusive data. Okay, so that's the numbers. If you're doing words, is qualitative content analysis. Qualitative research design using content analysis. Okay, so that's what that is. All right. So I hope that helps too to understand, because again, a content analysis could actually be either one. Most people do qualitative, which is the words, but some people actually are counting and looking at how many times something happens. And then that would be quantitative, quantity. Okay, so I hope this helps. If you have any more questions, let me know. I know this is a long video, but I just really wanted to explain that a little bit on how content analysis research method, the method section, looks a little differently than if you're doing either interviews, which would be qualitative, a qualitative research design, or if you are sending out surveys, okay, where you are, you know, tallying up, you know, numerically how the participants answered the survey using a Likert type scale. Okay. Now, if you need more help with that, let me know. I'm going to look through my videos online to see if I need to do a little bit more on quantitative and qualitative. I hope I've done enough. If not, let me know. You can send me a note, post in the question, ask Dr. Davis if you think you need a little more help on some of those other designs. Remember, method, you're doing, what is it? Future tense right now. You're telling me what you're doing. You haven't done it yet. Okay. So just wanted to remind you guys of that too. All right. I hope you have a good weekend. You have lots to listen to this weekend. Bye.